Hey, what's up guys, welcome to the video, and I wanted to make this particular video today just as an opportunity potentially to quell fears around the gacha acquisition within Arknights Endfield, because there's been a lot of people saying that it's just the worst ever with the worst gacha system ever, and there is some validity to the worries of some people thinking it potentially feels a little bit slow, because it does initially feel sort of slow in maybe comparison to other games, and I think that's around the fact that this game has a lot of content and there's a lot of systems within the first 5 to 6 hours of the game to kind of slow down that sort of busy work that you could be doing in other areas to start gaining the little bits of currency here and there. And of course this game gives you a decent amount of currency from exploring the map as well, and a lot of people don't like doing that in gacha games. They don't like playing games, it appears. It seems like they just want pulls right away, and a lot of games don't have much else other than, you know, the main story, going through stuff, and some events that all start getting your pulls maybe earlier on. They're probably a little bit more front-loaded, and there is arguments to be made. Well, which would you prefer? Do you prefer having all your pulls front-loaded, a bit more spread out, back-loaded? Because there's a positive to front-loaded pulls of the potential to curb any spending habits initially, because you're getting plenty of pulls and you can just start pulling on banners. Some people like it to be a bit spread out to keep getting that satisfaction of feeling like they're gaining stuff as they go. And then there is some genuine positives to it being backloaded. Now the negative is you're more likely to spend, and that's typically why games do that, because if you're not getting them straight away, you may be a little bit more itchy to start swiping. There is the positive. If they're backloaded, you've started to understand the game a little bit more than when you initially started to play. So you can make more educated pulling decisions, potentially even skipping banners that you know you don't necessarily need because you've already got a good team, or you're building a particular synergy that you're going to wait for. So there is positives to it, but, you know, I'm not denying the fact that typically they're backloaded to encourage spending. But around the whole conversation of pulling, there's definitely been some, I think, people being a bit disingenuous about it, and a lot of it does seem to be coming from the Wuthering Waves community. I know it feels like it's everybody versus the WoW community at the moment, but I definitely do think a lot of the animosity towards Enfield, right or wrong, you know, it does feel like it's coming from the WoW space specifically. And there's a lot of people who argue in the WoW space that if you're going to ever criticise WoW, come with objective, cold, hard facts. Don't talk about your feelings. And it feels like a lot of the conversation around the pulling is around feelings. And I'm not even saying those feelings are wrong. As I said, it does feel a little bit slow initially. We was having this conversation on my stream. There is the worry of, like, are we going to actually get enough pulls here? But we've got some data mine information about the game that I think should potentially quell some of those fears. We do have a video from CN here, which I did go through translating the transcript. There's probably going to be errors as well that will help quell some of those fears. And we've got a video from Ryan as well, who's been grinding hard, and that should quell some of those fears as well. So we'll have a look at the videos in a second and what they've got to say, but we'll just have a look at these articles as well. So apparently information was data mined in CN for the game, right? So you have to take some of this with a pinch of salt, but at the same time it might go up with compensation rewards and all that sort of jazz, because we've already had an extra 10 pulls for the launch yesterday, so it could go up, right? So just take the number as a sort of general estimate, right? So according to this article, in conclusion, 1.0 gives you a total of 393 pulls. Incomplete statistics, it says, which of course makes sense, including 152 from the regular pool, standard pulls, and 241 limited pulls, okay? So this is the number I've been seeing around a lot as well. So if you go over to this website as well, exactly the same thing. 393 pulls in total, 152 standard, 241 from the limited pulls. And then it goes through exactly where you're getting all these things from, right? You know. So with that being said, you have to take that with a bit of pinch of salt, right? The translations are terrible. It's not clear if some of it's coming from like paid packs and stuff as well. So let's just put that to the side for now. But have a look at the content from these videos. So Ryan put up a video. I'll link both of these videos, right? I think I might even copy paste the translation. It's got issues, right, of the transcript from this video in regards to the content. Ryan has been bashing the game for like 27 hours. Dude's been trying to speedrun endgame. There's no endgame in the game yet properly, so dude's kind of sped run through the game for no reason. He's been on I guess a wasted journey, but it's not been wasted because he's come to the discovery that he's been able to guarantee 120 pulls for the certain banner, and he's still got stuff left to do as well, and that's within 27 hours. And that is a decent amount of time, right? Not everybody's going to be grinding the game for 27 hours within the first 3 days of launch, or technically 2 days, but you were on early on day 1, it's kind of 3. So it's probably longer than maybe in some games, but I think a lot of people are expecting like 120 to 160 pulls within the first 6 to 8 hours of playing a game, right? And you're not getting that in any gacha. But I do think because of the specific design choices in this game and how, granted, the tutorials are a little bit too much at the start of the game, I think it slows down a lot of that rapid progression that people could potentially be having to go out and start doing all the busy work, because there's a lot of busy work to get currency in this game, whether it's from doing all the little missions and stuff that you've got to do through all your different challenges and daily stuff through the game, the training and stuff, the exploration, all that sort of stuff. As I say, I'll link the videos. These guys go into it in regards to exactly what you need to do, because I'm not this deep into the game yet, right? And I've had the same fears of, are we going to be getting enough gacha pulls in this game? And this video on Bilibili says the same thing, and we've got a little bit of a translation here of the transcript. As it says, this person says that 23 hours in with 260 draws, the synthetic jade is 40k, which is the aura barrels, which you can see here. They've got 40k aura barrels as well there. So it's 80 draws, and then the raw stones converted to aura barrels, another 8,000, which is another 16 draws. So that's 24 gacha tickets on top of that, and that adds up to exactly 120 draws. So that's the guarantee, the spark on a banner. So you can get Certa if you just grind a little bit, basically. We can see there's 40 draws for new players, which is the New Horizons. So altogether, with the pulls, altogether, the 100 draws from the permanent Leviathan pool, we're talking 260 draws. This person's not free to play. They've bought the battle pass and they've bought the monthly pass, right? But they do deduct it down to 119 here minus souls. So they bought the level 35 pass, and they got the monthly pass, I think, and they're going to just breaking down all the different bits and pieces they get here from the specific things they've brought in the game, right? So it's starting to look like it's kind of looking like potentially these data mine numbers are correct. Again, take it with a pinch of salt, but I'm just putting this information out there for people to maybe just, like, you know, take it as food for thought. We're starting to see players hit the sort of levels now where they have enough pulls to pull the limited characters, and that's going to, if you're going to Spark, that means you're getting the 50-50, you're getting the Spark character. Worst case scenario, you're coming out with a 6-star weapon as well, which I don't think is too badly, as I've said before. But we don't need to get into the conversation about the gacha because it's only as good as a pull acquisition. Is it potentially a little bit slow in this game? I think so. I think we're looking into maybe more backloaded sort of gacha acquisition in this game, or potentially maybe just spread out a little bit more rather than it getting thrown at you all in the early part of the game, because a lot of gacha games do that, right? It's those first few hours you feel like you're getting pulls left, right and centre, and for a lot of people that's important, and I understand that. I do, honestly, I do. As somebody who has been enjoying this game really a lot, let's say, like, I've really been enjoying this game. I am just happy to enjoy the game without being like, well, where are my pulls, but I do have the worry that, well, I want to make sure I'm getting enough, right? Because I've said this before, if the gacha acquisition in this game is trash, I will be calling it out, right? And again, if we come back here in a week or a couple of weeks and it doesn't look like the information is fully correct in terms of the 250 and stuff, I think that's something we can look at, because 250 is a lot though, right? That's a lot. But we're starting to see now, as I say, people are at the point of guarantee characters within the space of like 23 to 27 hours, give or take, right? Depending on how hard you're grinding and what specifically you're doing in the game. So I just wanted to put this out there, really, just to let you guys know. It looks like we're going to be getting enough pulls. It looks like you might have to work for those pulls in this game, but I don't think it's necessarily a surprise with Enfield, if I'm honest, because it's one of those games. It's not a hop in, just bash through the content and jog on kind of game. There's a lot of game here, which makes me incredibly happy, right? I've been asking for a long time in the gacha space. Can we stop this when it's a gacha game? You're only supposed to play it quickly, get yourself and bounce. I want a bit of freaking meat and veg on the plate, you know what I mean? I want a game that gives me something to do. But at the same time, as somebody who's going to be a light spender, like, you know, I'm probably going to buy, well, I'm buying the pass every month, and I might buy a pack here and there, depending on what's coming on, the patches and stuff like that. But I'll be a very low spender. I also want a good amount of gacha acquisition, right? I think that's fair to expect in a game. And we do have to understand, free-to-play players are important in gacha, guys, right? Spenders fund the game. Free-to-play players do have a part to play, though, guys. They spread the word. They keep the numbers up. It looks good when they can advertise. They've got this many players playing the game. If it wasn't for the free-to-play players, that pool would be a lot smaller. So I think we do have to accept that free-to-play acquisition in a game is important, right? But also, of course, the experience for paid players as well is, of course, important also. And gacha acquisition, for all of us, whether you're paid or free, is an important part of the game, right? So I can understand the annoyance with a bit of a slow burn in the gacha currency, because it does feel like it's a bit slower than normal. Again, feels, but we're starting to look at the numbers are probably showing that it maybe is a little bit slower than normal, right? Well, they're there. So if you want them, you can go and get them by the looks of things. So it's made me feel a little bit more comfortable, because I was starting to worry as well. I was like, ah, shit. Are we actually going to be having to roast Enfield, man? Are we going to have to be doing it? Because, you know, I'm a shill. But, again, I said before, when the devs mess up right, and I agree that they've messed up, and I think they've messed up, I'll be talking about it. I'll be talking about it, which I'm going to speak about in the next video. I might, actually, regarding the whole PayPal situation and some of the expectations that's coming from certain parts of the community, if you will, around that. Because I think it's an interesting thing to talk about. So, yeah, guys, let me know what you think down below about the gacha currency. Do you think these numbers are correct here? And what do you think about the time it's taking people to get to around about this 120 pulls-ish? Because it does look like you're looking at around 20 odd hours, maybe up to 30 hours potentially, depending on how fast you're going. Ryan did say he hasn't specifically been like going hard for the currency. His main thing has been just getting up to endgame. So he hasn't actually been going after that. So kind of makes sense that maybe it took him a little bit longer than it took this person on Billy, because I think was specifically trying to go for currency, right? So they just even said, you know, they've gone through the story. They've still got side quests to do. They've still got 30 quests left to complete, over 200 treasure chests left to collect, 30 logging daily rewards left to complete. So, you know, they've still got a lot of stuff to get in the game. So this idea of potentially up to 250 might be right. Maybe it'll be a little bit lower. Who knows? But I think if it's in the region of anywhere between like 150 to 200-ish. I think that would be really good, right? Again, on launch, Wuthering Waves had 254, I think, in like the 1.0. But there was a big part of that. There was apology pools. So that could change depending on things the devs decide to throw out as well. So yeah, guys, I'd like to know what you think down below about the pool acquisition in Arknights Endfield. What do you think about these numbers? If it's 250 for limited pools, do you think that's enough? I think that's enough, right? I think that's probably more than enough, actually. And what do you think about the speed in what you require in them as well? I'd really like to know down below. Guys, if you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe if you're new. I'll leave links to the videos as well, so go check them out, because come straight from the horse's mouth there. They know a little bit more what they're talking about because they've actually done it. And yeah, subscribe if you're new, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Ta-ra.